And we're waiting, and there it is. All right, okay. So, all right, prepare yourself, guys. Chris with T3 Medias, and we have Sean here with us. We haven't done one of these in a long time, so I decided to force the fates and just do it live. We're gonna do it live. So we're gonna do a review. I've already seen the Pet Sematary trailer for this new version of Stephen King. Because Stephen King's hot right now, and everybody's trying to jump on the bandwagon. That's what people are saying. That's what some people are saying. People are saying a lot of things right now. But Sean, I want you to watch this and get your reaction. I want to see if you feel the same way I feel.
He just dropped this on me, guys. Like I didn't even know. And maybe I'm out of the loop here, but I didn't even know there was a Pet Cemetery movie coming out. The Pet Cemetery 1 and 2. I actually like part 2, but I love part 1. But anyway, let's go.
I like part 2, love part 1. That's how everybody mostly feels.
But like part 2 is well, we'll talk about it here in a second. Let's go. You queued up?
Yeah, I'm queued up. I've already, like I said,
all right. So I'm just gonna watch this solo, and Chris is gonna watch me watch it. All right, I'm gonna go.
I'll watch it. I'll watch it.
All right, yeah. Watch it with me, bro.
Volume down, and I'll watch it with you. So just let me know whenever you play, and I will.
I'm gonna click in 3, 2, 1, play.
Oh, it's perfectly queued up.
Oh, this is a reboot or a remake.
Remake. Yep.
Is it gay? Is it Gage or Cage, the little boy?
Forgot.
It's gonna be a freeway right next to the house. Yes, this is definitely there's the fucking truck. As soon as I said that, as soon as the truck, I would have moved the fuck out of this neighborhood.
There's your bumper.
That's their telltale sign. This is a remake. Do you remember that scene where the kid gets killed in the first one? He's like running so slow. She's like, "Get him! Get him!" He's just
spoiler alert for the people who haven't seen the original.
John Lithgow. All right. He's going to play the Eddie Munster guy.
Yeah. Perfect casting. You said a drunk ass cat?
Oh, yeah. Sometimes dad is better.
Sometimes dad is better.
Dude, he looks like Gage, dude. He looks like him. He's got the little scalpel. Woo! I got it. All right. But there was no Maine accent. Sometimes dad is better.
Maybe he's not from Maine.
The ground is bad. Sometimes dad is better.
There. Every time I think about or hear Maine, I always think about that Saturday Night Live skit where they're Maine judge a live courtroom, but they say that they live in Maine, but they got a Louisiana accent. He's like, well, this is Maine over here. We don't play that right here with you little Yankees over there. This is Maine. Now tell them about it, bailiff. Well, yeah, I do agree, Your Honor. This is Maine right here. We don't play that with them Yankees over here. Like Yankees, like you are the most northern state in America.
That's right. But the Maine is very woodsy.
I guess and that's the joke, I guess. It's so woodsy, it can seem like it feels like a southern swamp up north, right?
I will say this: whoever cast that little boy. There was one, when I first was looking at the kid, I was like, does he look like Is it Gage or Cage, the little boy from the first one? I was like, well, kind of. But there was that one scene where I saw the flick of his face. It was him, dude. I was like, oh, my God, that is Gage. It looks just like him.
You think they're going to go with the little boy again being the...
Oh, definitely.
Did he have... I can't remember the
ground. Yeah, he's chasing him with a fucking scalpel. I guarantee it.
Yeah, but they didn't show him though. But my question is,
recreation.
Did they have? Did he have an older sister in the book or in the original movie? Because in this, he has an older sister.
I would say uninformedly, because I haven't seen this movie in 10 years. I would say no. I think it was their only child, and I think that made it so much more
dramatic.
Devastating.
He lost his only son,
right?
Remember
that little shoe bouncing on the road.
Yeah.
He was like, oh! It was like the most dragged out. No.
Yeah, that shaky head.
No!
So that's my question, though. I
When
thought of
Trump
that
gets
after I
elected.
first watched this trailer. I'm like, I don't remember an older sister. I don't know if it was in the book and they took it out for the movie. But if there wasn't an older sister in either the movie
That's
or the
true.
book,
There may have been one in the book. I
it
didn't
might have
read
been
the
one in the
book.
book. But if there wasn't, here's the question: if there's one now for this reboot, is the girl gonna be the zombie this time?
I think it's still going to be Gage. I think so.
You think
The
it's still
young
gonna be the
sibling,
boy?
because it's so traumatic with it. I think
With him
that
being,
they're
with him being so young, being the
yeah.
youngest.
I think they're going to stick very close to the original, and they're going to take. They're not going to be exactly the same. They're going to take little liberties. But I think the first one was so good that it would be foolish of the filmmakers to not take a lot of cues from that original, because even if for nothing else, half of the audience for this movie is going to be like, I loved Pet Sematary 1. I want to see what this one goes like. But they're going to be like, as soon as you see that trailer, I called it. The truck, right by. It was like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
No,
yeah.
yeah, you have a residential home right off this road, and you don't have
80
you
mile an
don't
hour
have a yeah,
18
you're still
wheelers.
going 80 miles an hour. It makes
My
no
God,
sense.
no way I would
You
move
might as well,
there.
the only thing that would make it worse, put a school there, make a like a no like an 80 mile an hour school zone, right? Like, come
Do
on,
you
it
remember
makes
that
no
movie,
sense.
Funny Farm with Chevy Chase?
I know, I remember it, never watched it.
Ah, guys, you know what I'm talking about. They had a mailman in that movie where he would come flying by the house doing like 100 miles an hour every day, laughing, and just like throw his fucking mail out the window.
No, I gotta watch that.
Yeah,
But that I don't know, man. I thought maybe for a split second I was thinking maybe the girl might be the one this time, but if
it,
not the boy,
maybe
what if
both.
that was what I was thinking? That would that be too cheesy to have both children killed? Maybe both children killed, one buried in the pet cemetery, one not, or
Let me
something like
ask you. Let me ask you this: of all the horror movies you've ever seen, and I mean all the horror movies, and you guys out there too, how many little 4-year-olds have you seen actually kill somebody with a knife? Little teeny tiny little actors.
I don't. Besides Children of the Corn, maybe I don't
But even
remember
the
too
children of
many.
the corn were a
Oh, they
little bit
were they
older.
were they were always a
Little
little
bit
bit
older.
older. You've never seen. I think there was a movie where a woman gave. I forgot what the movie was called. Where a woman gave birth to a zombie. They died in the baby died in her womb.
Oh
It was a
my zombie
stillbirth,
uterus
and I
ate
can't
his way
remember.
out.
No, she gave birth, and she loved, like they were trying to tell her, like, the baby's dead, like, give it up, man. We gotta bury it. And then like it was something like so the premise of it, like, she loved the baby so much she willed it back to life, and people were like freaking out, like, that baby was dead. No way, she didn't. There was no CPR. That baby was born dead. Well, I don't know why it's moving around now, why it's so hungry, and it's weird what it's hungry for, but it wasn't. It kept
Brains.
it kept biting as he breastfeed or something. He kept biting her and drawing blood more and more, to a point where by the end of the movie, like, spoiler alert, by the if I can't remember the name of the movie, but by the end of the movie, it was gone. One of them was gone. But she loved her baby so much she just gave him what he wanted. It was
I
weird.
got
It
two
was a
of them.
weird
It's
movie.
all right. It's all good.
But she killed. I think she killed people to feed her baby because she knew
Yeah.
that he wanted blood or something like that. But that was the horror part of the movie. Like, the mother was doing anything she had to do to keep her baby alive. It was weird. But I forgot where I was going with this. But that's the youngest killing little baby I think I've ever seen in a movie. I think that was it. Even though technically the mother was killing for the baby, but it was a baby. Other than that, there's nothing scarier to me in a horror movie than little girl ghosts. That's why I was thinking maybe it might be the girl this time. I think little girl ghosts are scarier.
All I'm saying is that for sure Gage is going to die. Gage is going to die in this movie.
Well,
I
no,
don't know
all you
about his
know
little
for sure
sister.
that he did die in the first one and in the book. You don't know. We don't know what they're. We
I'm
don't. You don't know what
pretty
they're gonna
sure.
do.
I'm not 100%, but I'm like
But we
95%
can we
sure.
can look up. We can look up in the.
I don't
We
want to
can look
spoil.
up,
I don't want to know for sure in the book, but I suspect.
you 95% suspect the
I'm
gay.
95% suspect.
Yeah. There's no way you can be sure, sir. You
No,
have
of
not
course not.
seen the
Of
movie.
course not. But do you think Gage is going to die in this movie?
I don't. After seeing that trailer, I don't know. They didn't.
Guess.
They didn't give.
Guess. Because we
I
can
would.
come back later
That's
and we
that's
can.
why. That's
What's
what
your
I.
what's your thinking?
That's why I asked the question, because I'm thinking that
I
it's
said yes. I
possible.
think he's going to die. What do you think?
it's more likely if they stick with the book.
Yeah.
But if the director wants to take, because the most boring thing to me is when people just want to tell. If you're going to tell shot by shot the same story, you
It's
might as
not
well
going to
not
be
make it.
shot for shot. No, 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 no.
Yeah.
I don't agree.
So
Yeah,
and then
I don't think it's going to be
so I
shot for
want
shot.
directors to take liberties, and I want things that I never seen before. So I, I if we haven't. I don't remember a big sister. So there's one thing. Maybe they thought it would fill the family up more and be more tense
Do,
if little Gabe is coming after his sister. Maybe they thought that would be scarier or something like
do
that.
you
But
remember from the first one the biker, the bicyclist who got killed in the beginning?
I don't remember that much about all from that movie. I just remember the funeral, the fight that happened, and
Oh yeah, yeah.
grandfather
The
blaming
body came out of the
seeing
coffin.
seeing part of his son's. But I would have went ballistic.
Ugh.
There was no way in the world anybody would have said anything like that to me if my son's funeral like that. There's no way they would have. He would have had to pry me
Oh, that's
off
right.
of.
They blamed him because they said he wasn't watching him,
Yeah,
and
well, yeah, it's your job to protect. Yeah, because it's every father's job to protect your children. You what the hell were you doing?
oh, I'll tell you this: I don't care. If I had a house, I wouldn't live there. But if I had a house there, my kids would not be playing in the front yard of that. They'll play in the
Yeah,
backyard,
play out in the back, and
the
I'm too
fenced
much
off
of
area.
I'm too much of a hovering. For all I would have never moved there. If the
No, that
speed limit
that
is
first
that
truck.
consistent, no
Uh-uh.
way. I would fence that mug off so much. I mean
No,
that was a
sir.
lot of
I
land.
don't
That was
like
a
it.
lot of land.
It was
You
a
need a
pretty
fence.
house.
You
So
need a yeah. You need a fence.
we'll see, guys. Yeah, I think they're going to
Or
try to reboot the
maybe they
whole.
just do it differently out there in Maine.
I think they're going to reboot. They're going to try to reboot this. And for my closing thoughts, guys, I actually really like the sequel to this movie. It was one of the sequel to this movie, Pet Cemetery 2, and it had the kid from Terminator 2 in it. I believe Edward Furlong, wasn't he in it?
That shows you how great the movie was. You can barely remember him.
Well, it's been a long time, but it also had the kid, one of the kids from Honey I Shrunk the Kids in it, and he was the jerk, and he got his face ripped off by a dirt bike by the cop that they buried.
Yeah, I remember. That's the only thing I think I remember and I
The
liked about
scarf wrapped around and
the cop, the father that they brought back, and
he was nice at
he was
first.
kind of okay, but just like they all like that. They're
Regressed.
okay. But the more they
It's
decay,
it's like when he came back, he stood up for him, was laughing, and when he saw that guy was bullying his kid, he fucking killed him for it. But then that didn't work out so good.
which was not okay at all.
No.
I like the way you said he was okay. He was killing people, killing the right people. He was like Dexter. He only kills the bad people. I'm like, no, dude.
I tell you though, and that was the guy from the Shawshank Redemption, his father, the bad guard. He was great
Yeah.
in that movie.
Yeah,
But anyway, guys,
that's the only thing I remember liking about part two. Other than that, I didn't like part two at all. The
it,
cop was the only redeemable thing.
I had this weird feeling when I used to watch this movie as a kid. I think the movie came out when I was about 11, 92, 93, 11 or 12 years old. It was one of the movies that it made me feel bad when I watched it. I don't know how to describe it, guys. Maybe you've seen a movie out there that you felt weird after you watched the movie and felt like you shouldn't probably be watching a movie like that. And you need to
Or
watch something happy.
maybe you felt sorry.
Happy.
Oh, did you like? I thought you were about to say maybe you felt sorry for the.
No, it made me in a bad mood. Like I was like, I need to watch something happy after this. Is so grim.
It was a fight movie. It made you ready to fight. Like, give me something to break. Was that Were you listening to Limp
Give me
Bizkit again?
something to break. It just felt so negative. The movie's negative. But anyway, guys, it looked interesting. I'll go check out the new one. I'm not going to have high expectations, but I'd like to see the reinterpretation of it. So yeah, I'll check it out. What do you think, Chris?
That was an interesting pitch. Don't have high expectations for it, but go check it out.
I'm not gonna bullshit you.
You know what? No, that's what he's doing. He's doing what he did for accidentally did for Venom. He got it. He had his expectations lowered and was pleasantly surprised. And that's a segue to the podcast. So guys, that's I mean my thoughts on it. I don't know. The girl, I don't know. Maybe the girl, maybe the boy. But if I'm a betting man, I would put my money on them probably sticking with the book. Or what and just making it gay. But I wouldn't be surprised if they took liberties, and I hope they do. But that's my thoughts on it. But it looks good, and I can't wait to check it out. So that's I was just doing a little warm up. We're about to break off and go to the podcast, guys. We're debuting the T3 Media's podcast, and the topic is the movie we just saw. We reviewed. We did a Venom review. Go check that out. We did a non-spoilers review. This is spoiler talk time now, guys. We're gonna talk about this movie. It did great, and we had a good time with it. So go check it out. If you're not watching this live, then go check out the link to the podcast. It's right there below, and just let us know what you guys think. Become a subscriber. here and on the podcast now, and just let us know what you guys think. Remember, every time you send a comment, we will review it on you. We got your mail, and until next time, guys. I guess peace out. And how do you turn it off?
225